Welcome to AI Brief, episode 192. I'm Amin.
And I'm Leah. It's great to be here.
Today we're diving into some really quite remarkable AI developments.
Absolutely. Things that are already changing lives and, really shaping what's coming next.
We have got quite the lineup for you. We'll kick things off with a story about AI opening doors to parenthood, where, frankly, hope was almost lost.
Then we'll look at Meta's new chatbots, the ones that might actually message you first.
And we'll explore what a national AI Manhattan project could, actually look like in practice.
Plus, of course, our rapid-fire rundown of the latest breakthroughs and some trending AI tools you might want to check out.
So, yeah, prepare for some pretty eye-opening stuff on AI's present and future.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's unpack this first story. It's quite something. Imagine an 18-year journey trying to start a family.
Yeah, 15 failed IVF cycles. Facing odds that just seem completely impossible. That was the reality for one couple.
A huge emotional toll. And financial, too, obviously, until AI stepped into the picture.
And what's really fascinating here is this breakthrough coming out of Columbia University. They have an AI system called STAR.
STAR, right. And it uses astrophysics algorithms. That sounds unusual.
It does, doesn't it? Algorithms originally designed to find new stars out in space, but they used it to achieve the first known pregnancy for a man with severe infertility.
Okay, define severe infertility here. We're talking what kind of numbers?
We're talking nearly 0 measurable sperm cells. Compare that to typical counts, which are in the hundreds of millions. It's a massive difference.
Wow. So how did STAR, with its space background, manage this?
Well, STAR scanned something like 8 million microscopic images from semen samples, and it did this in under an hour.
8 million images in an hour.
Yep, and it found 44 viable sperm cells. Now compare that to human technicians. After 2 days of searching, they found none. 0.
That's incredible efficiency. So this system was developed over time.
Over 5 years, yeah. Basically applying those algorithms, which are great at finding faint signals in noisy data, like a tiny star far away, but applying them to biological samples instead.
Okay, and here's the part that's going to resonate with a lot of people, I think. The cost. IVF, a single cycle. It can run you, what, $15, $20, even $30,000.
Easily. And with no guarantee.
Yeah.
This STAR system, though, which right now is only at the Columbia University Fertility Center, the estimated cost is around $3,000.
$3,000 versus potentially $30,000. That's
Right.
potentially life-changing access.
Exactly. And if you look at the bigger picture, global fertility rates are dropping. The cost and uncertainty of IVF are huge barriers for so many.
So this isn't just one couple's story.
Not at all. Imagine scaling this. It could democratize IVF, making it much more accessible, more affordable, worldwide. It's a really significant step forward.
Okay, from literally life-creating AI, let's pivot a bit, something maybe a bit more everyday or soon to be. Meta's new chatbots, the ones designed to message you first.
That's right. Meta is actively training these AI chatbots you can customize. And the idea is they'll send unprompted messages within Meta's apps, like Messenger or WhatsApp.
Why? What's the goal there?
Well, the main goal seems to be boosting engagement, keeping users on the platforms longer, making them feel more interactive, perhaps.
So these aren't just like question and answer bots. They're more proactive.
Exactly. They're being developed with help from a data labeling firm called Aligner. And these bots can remember past conversations, keep up a consistent personality. Maybe it acts like a film buff or a chef.
And it initiates the chat sometimes. How does that work? Are there rules?
There are. So these bots, built with Meta's AI Studio, they can start a conversation, but only within 14 days of your last interaction. And importantly, only after you've already exchanged at least 5 messages in that particular chat thread.
Ah, okay, so there needs to be some existing conversation first.
Right. And Meta says their testing shows the bots won't just keep messaging you if you don't reply. They'll limit it to 1 follow-up message per conversation if you go quiet.
So the idea of a proactive bot might seem more, I don't know, human, maybe. But what happens if it's not quite right? What are the potential downsides?
Well, yeah, this is where Meta really needs to tread carefully. Because proactive messaging, if it's not handled really well, could easily feel, spammy or just awkward, maybe even a bit cringy, as people say.
Right, like getting unsolicited advice from a bot chef when you didn't ask.
Exactly. It raises questions about, our digital space and autonomy. But there's a huge financial angle here, too. Court documents suggest Meta thinks its generative AI products could bring in maybe $2 to $3 billion in revenue by 2025.
$2 to $3 billion.
And potentially reaching, get this, $1.4 trillion by 2035.
Yeah.
So the motivation to increase engagement, maybe through these bots, is obviously enormous.
1.4 trillion.
Wow.
Okay, let's shift gears again to something even bigger picture. This idea of an AI Manhattan Project. What could that actually look like? There's new analysis out from Epoch AI.
Yes, Epoch AI has modeled what a U.S.-led national AI project might entail. They're drawing parallels with huge historical efforts, like the Apollo program that put humans on the moon.
So government leadership, but involving the private sector too.
Precisely. Significant government direction combined with private sector resources and expertise.
And the scale they're talking about is, well, it's massive.
Yeah, it really is. They estimate that an investment level similar to the peak funding for the Apollo program could potentially fund around 27 million GPUs.
27 million GPUs, that's hard to even picture. For listeners, GPUs are those graphics processing units, the specialized chips that power all this AI training.
Exactly. And with that kind of hardware, they think the U.S. could train a foundational AI model perhaps 10,000 times larger than something like GPT-4 and potentially do it by late 2027.
10,000 times larger than GPT-4. That's transformative scale. Has anyone official suggested this?
Actually, yes. The U.S.-China Economic and Security Review Commission has recommended something like this, specifically calling an AI Manhattan Project a top priority for reaching artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
AGI, the point where AI matches or exceeds human intelligence across the board. So this is seen as strategically vital.
Very much so. National security, economic leadership, it's all tied up in this race for advanced AI.
But, okay, 27 million GPUs. The practical side of that, just the power needed, must be astronomical.
Absolutely. Epoch's research looked into that massive energy demand. They suggested maybe using things like the Defense Production Act, national efforts to really fast-track building new power plants.
So mobilizing the country almost on a war footing, but for energy and AI infrastructure.
Kind of, yeah. The bigger picture here is that the race for AGI, and maybe even ASI, artificial superintelligence, it's not just companies competing anymore. It's becoming a global sprint for resources, for energy, for infrastructure.
And the idea is being the first country to hit that milestone. Well, it would have huge implications, like the original Manhattan Project or landing on the moon.
Exactly. Potentially humanity-altering consequences.
All right, let's move to our quick rundown. Everything else happening in AI. Leadership changes, new tools. What's going on?
Okay, first up, Ilya Sutskever, OpenAI's co-founder, has officially announced he's taking the CEO role at SSI. That's a new AI safety research group. This follows Daniel Gross leaving SSI for Meta.
Interesting moves there. What about coding?
Together, AI has open-sourced something called DeepSWE. It's a coding agent, and is getting top-tier results for open-weight models on a test called SWE Bench Verified, which measures how well AI fixes software bugs. Open-weight meaning the model's accessible for others to build on.
Good for collaborative development. Anything in image or video?
Higgsfield introduced Soul InPaint. It's a new image editor letting users make really fine-grained changes and then combine them with video and motion controls. Looks pretty neat for creators.
And Replit. They do AI coding tools too, right?
They do. They released Dynamic Intelligence new features for their coding agent to make it better at understanding context, reasoning, and working more autonomously. Basically, a smarter coding assistant.
What about Grok from Axe AI?
Updates are reportedly coming soon, maybe next week, for Grok 4, and it might include a games option to actually build and create games using the AI.
Building games with AI. Okay. And one more.
ByteDance researchers released XUnimotion. It's a new framework that can animate still images, think photos or drawings, with incredibly realistic full-body motion, hands, faces, everything. Could be huge for animation and video.
All right, let's shift to tools you can potentially use or explore now. What's trending?
Cursor, the AI-first code editor, just dropped its 1.2 update. It brings better agent planning, improved context understanding, and faster auto-completion for developers.
Making coding smoother. And Google's video model.
Veo 3, their high-end video generation model, is now available globally for pro users, so more people can create those really detailed videos from text prompts.
What about making AIs work together?
Treequest from Sakana AI. It's a new code framework specifically designed to help large language models team up on complex tasks. So multiple AIs collaborating.
Interesting approach. And you mentioned DeepSWE earlier.
Right, DeepSWE from Together AI. That state-of-the-art software engineering agent we mentioned, it's open source, which is a great example of how the community is pushing AI forward, especially in coding.
So, wrapping this all up, what's the big takeaway here? We've gone from AI helping create families to potentially chatting with us unprompted to maybe even becoming a national strategic priority.
Yeah, it really shows the sheer breadth of AI's impact. It's not just one thing. It's changing intimate personal lives, it's changing how we interact online, and it's shaping national and global strategies.
It certainly raises questions about how we adapt.
Definitely. As AI gets more proactive, more integrated, how do our societies, our expectations, how do we change in response? It's something we'll all be navigating.
Absolutely. Well, we hope this deep dive has given you a useful shortcut to understanding some of these huge shifts and maybe sparked a few aha moments.
Thank you for joining us as we explored these developments in AI.
We really enjoy bringing you these insights. If you found this valuable, please do follow AI Brief wherever you get your podcasts.
And maybe share it with a friend or colleague who likes to stay ahead of the curve on AI.
Until next time.